Here we are on page 6 of dispersion, and I'm just going to do the middle two problems because, the number 6 is a continuation of what we did on the previous page. So we'll start with number 2 here, and we are going to make a cumulative frequency graph, and then we're going to answer some questions based on the cumulative frequency graph. The only tricky thing about this is that in the cumulative frequency table, they've left us some variables, some unknowns, and we need to fill in the blank. Of course, we're already experienced at making cumulative frequency tables because we just did that in the previous 3 problems. So if we look at the cumulative frequency data, or not the cumulative frequency data, but the frequency data here, we can figure out all the numbers in the cumulative frequency table. Okay, so like for example, the first number here is 1 because the first number in the frequency table is 1. The second number is 6 because we should be looking at 1 plus 5, right? So how do we get S? Well, we get S by adding up the first 3 numbers. So it would be 1 plus 5 plus 7. Or you could add 6 plus 7, right? When I say 6 plus 7, I mean you could add up 6 and 7. So you could add up those 2 numbers, or you could add 1 plus 5 plus 7. But either way, you're going to get 13. So S is 13. And then you're going along and you get all the other numbers. And now we say, okay, how do we get T? Well, you get T by choosing, you add up 86 with 36, right? So 86 plus 36 is going to be 122. You can do that with your calculator. Okay? So T is going to be 122. So we found S and T just by completing the cumulative frequency table, just like we did before. Now draw a cumulative frequency graph for these data. Let's see. Well, we already have the data right here, so we just need to plot the points. Now let's see, if we mark this, we could say this is 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. Now this is 0 to 100 is the mark percentage, so that's the data, right? The data ranges from 0 to 100, right? And then the frequency ranges from 0 to 140. So let's see, this would be about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 would be there. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 would be there. And 140 would be the top line, right? And so now we're just going to plot some points. So the first point is going to be 9.5, comma 1. So 9.5, comma 1 would be about like that. This is about 10. So 9.5 is a little bit to the left, but hardly any to the left. So next one's 19.56. It would be maybe a little bit higher. 29.513 would be about here. 39.524 would be about here. 50, 43 would be about there. 60 or 59.5 would be at about 86. It's about here. And then 69.5 is 122. And then 79.5 is about 137. Wow, now we're getting really close to the top, right? 89.5 is about 139. And then 100 is at 140. Okay, and then we take the blue and then we start connecting everything together, and we're going to get an S-shaped curve, right? Okay, and then now we're going to answer the questions they ask us. So use your graph to estimate the median mark. There we go with the median again. So we take the frequencies. This is the frequency, and this is the mark. And when they say the mark, I think they're talking about a test grade. So the median mark, if there are 140 tests or 140 people, the median mark would be about the 70th person. So we would start at 70. And then we would draw a horizontal line till we hit the blue curve, and then we go down. And that would hit the x-axis at about 60 or 58 or so. So I would say the median is about 58. Then we find the lower quartile. The lower quartile would be 70 divided by 2. It would be about 35. 35. It would be 140 divided by 4, right? That would be about, what would that be about? 45. So I would say that the lower quartile, which is Q1, is about 45. Then the pass mark, if 40% of the candidates passed. Okay, so the pass mark, if 40% of the candidates passed. So let's say that the 40 best, who's the best guy? The best guy's right here, right? That's the best guy. Now, what about the 40% of the best people? So that would be this part, right? How far down would it go? Well, it would go down 40%. So like the top 40%, let's see, to calculate that, we would do 140 times 60. That would be the, or 140 times 0.6, right? That would, so the bottom 60% would be up to 84. It would be about there. So we want to know the top 40%, not the bottom 60%. So the top 40% would be this region here, right? So the cutoff mark would be about 84. And then so we'll say, okay, I'm going to cut it off right here. What test score corresponds to the 84th person? Well, it looks like it's pretty much, 60. Okay, so we'll say that the 60 mark and above is passing, because they said the pass mark would be 40% of the candidates passing. So that would be 60 and above. So the pass mark would be 60%. Okay. Now we'll go to number 1 here. And this is kind of a tedious one because it only gives you the data. It doesn't make the frequency table for you. So this is kind of hard to do accurately, so I'm going to do it with you. Okay. So first of all, they give you all the data here, and they give it to you in this table that's not in order or anything, so they're trying to make your life difficult. But it's not so bad as long as you take your time. Now, what's like the smallest number they have here? I think it's a 30, right? I don't see any 29s or anything like in the 20s. What's the largest number they have here? I think like a 35. So these are the number of sweets in a bag. Oh no, I see a 36 there. So 36 is actually the largest. 36. Any 37s? I don't think so. So the data table is going to range from 30 to 36. So this is the number of sweets in 45 different bags. And they want us to make a frequency table with this information. Okay, then we are going to make a box and whiskers graph for this. Okay, so let's see. The smallest value we said was probably a 30, and then 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Okay, and then we're going to put the frequency of each number of candies, and then on the left we can just put that that's the number of sweets. Okay, so the number of sweets 30, 31, 32, etc. So let's say, okay, let's look first for all the bags with 30. So there's 1, and is that it? I think that's it. So we'll just mark that there is 1 bag with 30. Then we're going to mark all the bags with 31. So there's 1, 2, 3. Is that it? So I'll put 3. You really have to be kind of organized when you do this, right? So now we'll do all the bags with 32. Helps to go from left to right. So I'll do that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. So far I got 1, 3, 9. I think I missed one on there. Do I see any other 32s here? Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. So it's actually 10. It's very tedious and easy to make a mistake here. Need to be organized. Okay, next one, we're going to do 33. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. Now we'll do 34s. 34. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of those. 35. How many 35s are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And 36. There should be, just everything else would be 36. Okay, so we'll put 1, 2. Now is that everybody? Okay. We can test by adding everything up, see if it adds up to 45. So that would be 13, 14, 30, 40, 43, 41. I think I'm maybe short one. Okay. Let's see, 9. Oh, actually, I should have put 2 here, right? Okay, that's 2. All right, so we're done with the tedious frequency table. Now we're going to make a box and whiskers plot based on this, finding out what the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile are. And the way we're going to use that, the way we're going to do it is we're going to do it with the GDC. Okay, so we're going to let the GDC figure out what the median, etc. is. Okay, so we're going to put it into stat edit. Oops. Stat edit, and we're going to fill up the table in L1 and L2. Okay, so now we have the table done in the calculator. We have the data in L1 and we have the frequencies in L2. And then we're just going to do stat calc, and we're going to figure out what the median, etc. are. So we go into one of our stats. First list is going to be L1. The frequency list is going to be L2, which we do second, 2. And then we go down to calculate, hit enter. And then it's going to give us all of the data we're looking for. And there, look, we can check that the total number of bags of candy were 45 because n is 45. And then we go down and we find our min, our Q1, our median, our Q3, and our max. And those are sufficient to make the box and whiskers plot because the box and whiskers basically just needs those 4 numbers. 33, 32, 31, 31, 30. Okay, so the minimum, remember, is at 30. Here it is. It says minimum 30. Then the Q1 is at 32. I'm just making vertical lines at each one of these significant numbers. Q3 is 34, and max is 36. And so I drew 5 vertical lines. Now how do I connect them together? I connect the outside ones with whiskers and the middle ones with a box. Therefore the name box and whiskers. Okay, so we've just made the box and whiskers diagram. The left whisker edge shows the min, the right whisker edge shows the max. The Q1 and Q3 are marked with the outsides of the box, and the center line for the box is marked at the median. So we are done. Okay, and the number 2 is similar to that, and I'll let you do that on your own.